What up? What up? Welcome in everybody to another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start this show by being transparent. And yesterday for myself, it was a really good day. I went 5-0, 4-0 in NBA, 1-0 in MLB, and can't ask for much better. I know we're going to talk mostly NBA here, or I have probably stronger opinions than NBA here. I've hit 16 of my last 19 and about a little bit above 64% as far as my last 118 in the association. So I'm loving what's happening lately for me. And good to talk to you again, Mr. Ravino. How you doing?
Yeah, it's been pretty good for me too, Ski. Not quite as good as you, but last night another winning night. The Golden State game, and I know it was for you, but it's the one that made me all my money. I had three plays in the Golden State game, a couple of player props in a Golden State first quarter. All came through. Andrew Wiggins over his PRA, Steph over the 29 and a half points. So I think, we went through it on the show yesterday, did a pretty good job of getting through that game and making some cash. And baseball, I didn't. Oh, we'll,
We'll forget.
we'll
He
get to
came late. He said
that.
dark gray. Damn
Uh,
it.
Damn it! I broke out my spring collection, Boofer, light green. um, yeah. So it's been good. It was 7-2 up until yesterday. It's now 10-4 the last 3 days. So we're happy with it, and we'll see if we can keep it going here tonight.
Yeah, let's try to keep it going. We did talk out an MLB winner, right? The Diamondbacks first five.
Yes.
So let's see if we can't find, or see if we can find any more MLB action. Before I do that, let me take a look at the chat. Appreciate everybody tapping in. Casey's on you already. She says, "How about them puddles?" He wasn't
He
great,
was
but he
horrible.
wasn't terrible.
He was 1 for 7 from three. I can't let her get away with it, Ski. I can't. He wasn't good.
Only thing I
But they
know
were
is he had
very
the
good.
smart
Golden
thought
State was.
somehow.
They were very good for sure.
Yeah. Let's see a couple more here. Everybody's here for Rob too. People saying let's get it, stay hot. I appreciate you guys. And Sports Take giving us an early insight. He likes the Wolves Nuggets over. Timothy says we will win. What's going on, you Pepper? And you Capper had a good call yesterday on Looney. Looney rebounds plus assists. He had like 10 rebounds in like the first quarter, maybe even before the first quarter was over. So good call on that. Nets bets. Good call on that. And JJ's coming in here, says Dubs in six. So let's get to it. Let's talk a little bit of MLB, then we'll get to the NBA. So a couple of games that I was really interested in for MLB, and we'll start at the top. It's going to be 951, 952. LA Dodgers heading into Chicago to face the Cubs. Urias versus Smiley. This one opened Dodgers minus 160. We're looking at minus 155 ish. Total open 9.5. We're still seeing 9.5 out there. And these two just went at each other like a week ago or so. And it was Urias' only loss. So I think this time around, he'll hold him down. And the Dodgers, when they win by the run line, going all the way back to last year. So I think, you skip the big hefty price on the money line and you look a little bit more towards the run line. Would you agree with that, Rob, or how would you think about this game?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a payback, like you mentioned. Last week, the Cubs came into Dodger Stadium and did some damage. And then the Dodgers come into Wrigley yesterday and opened the series with a win. I think Outman had a couple of home runs. Highly touted kid for LA in the lineup now, mostly due to some injury. But um, Drew Smiley, for whatever reason, Ski, generally I like to be against him. Last couple of outings, including that one against LA, have been really, really good. But I trust Urias, and I think that I used the word payback earlier, and I think this is a little bit of a payback series for the Dodgers. They did not hit whatsoever in that weekend series against the Cubs or weekday series, whatever it was last week. Their run scoring was minimal. Last night they came up with a bunch. and I think they can continue it here. If they draw even with Smiley, if Urias and Smiley just battle even, I give the Dodgers bullpen a pretty big edge in the back end of this game. So when you're looking at price tag, and as you mentioned, the visitor laying 1.5 runs, we can reduce the number real well. So I couldn't argue anybody off of that. Somehow, some way, I think you can play the Dodgers here and make money with them over the weekend. Just don't believe that much in the Cubs at this point in time. And I think LA indications yesterday that maybe they're going to start to creep out of this batting slump a little bit and hit the baseball. This is a good park to do so and a good weather day to do so.
About the hitting slump, UCapper may be looking that way. Says Smiley 8-1-1 to the under at home since last season. KC, he says Mookie straight from the hospital yesterday too. He can help out with some of that hitting. So we'll see there. Christopher, he's liking the Cubs first 5. Here, Rob, I heard you say Dodgers back in, can be better. They haven't been better lately, but I do agree that I think they're better, long term. Last 2 week stats, you have the Cubs with a 2.91 ERA compared to the Dodgers at 5.18. Looking at both teams versus left-handed pitching last 2 weeks, they are, for the Dodgers, 15th weighted runs created plus versus the Cubs, who are 6th. Looking at Urias, last 3 starts, 1.53 ERA through 17 innings, and Smiley, 15 innings pitched, 4.7 ERA. So I thought about maybe we do the Dodgers first 5, but it was minus 120, maybe a little bit more than minus 120 to take that. And it was minus 105 for the full game run line. And the Dodgers on the road, so I didn't mind the extra, to have the full 9 innings. Would you say first 5 or full game?
I would probably prefer full game. Here's one reason why, Skee. I think that Urias will last longer than Smiley. Generally speaking, Drew Smiley's 5 innings tops. He could be less. His pitch counts tend to run a little bit high, and they pull him quickly. So if Urias can get to 6 or 7, the other guy's only going to get to 5. I'd rather have Urias in the 6th and 7th against the Cubs bullpen than I would have him battling Smiley through the first 5, just because of the way Smiley's throwing right now. So I think long-term, as the game goes on, it's probably better for the Dodgers. I think their edge becomes even stronger. That's the only reason I would prefer full game here. I mean, I'm not going to talk anybody off first 5, but I would personally prefer full game.
All right, I'm with you. I like the Dodgers full game here. And one more thing on this, Rob. The Dodgers kind of just, back and forth here. I think they sit at 10-10. At some point, they're going to go on a big run here and be able to, go on a streak. Do you think it'd be sooner or later?
It's interesting, Skee, because I just saw, we forget about all the injuries to this team, right? No Gavin Lux hurt in spring training. Tony Gonsolin just coming back to the staff now. So they've been doing this pretty much patchwork, getting to 10-10 and keeping themselves involved. I'm with you that I know that they're going to go on, or I'm pretty confident that they're going to go on a run at some point. I just don't know whether it's here at the end of April or in the middle of May. Not quite sure. I think with the Dodgers, we have to feel them out and let them show us that they're going to win a few back-to-back here. And then I think once they get it rolling, they can keep it rolling.
Yeah, I guess maybe not try to predict it, but I'm gonna be with them here, and we'll see if maybe they can start that streak. A lot of love in the chat though for the Cubs, I have to say. The Sab, he's rolling with this on the 1.5. The next game that I wanted to talk about, I had a few games, but the next one I really want to have action on. You guys should know this one is coming up today. 963, 964. Kikuchi and Herman. This one opened Yankees minus 135. They're about a minus 130 favorite. Total opened 9. It says 8.5 here, but it wasn't 8.5. I saw a 9. But now we're looking at 8.5 pretty much across the board. And I was fine with that, with seeing that drop there. I know Kikuchi long term, he's a 62.5% pitcher to the over on the road, and just going up against this Yankees lineup. I just really could see them having success. Let me read this. So Kikuchi, he's allowed 8 runs this year, 7 off home runs, and getting back to his MLB debut in 2019, he has the highest homer rate among all pitchers who throw 400 plus innings. I mean, I've seen Judge hit multiple bombs off of him. Torres has hit a bomb off of him. I could see them having success on him. Really, like I should have probably looked at Yankees team total because I like the Yankees in this game, and I like the over whenever Kikuchi's on the road. So those are the ways I played it initially, individually, and probably would look at Yankees team total over 4.5 too. Could you talk me off, Rob?
I probably couldn't. I think the over is a pretty good way to go here, Skee. Again, I'll comment on the weather here in the Northeast, which is really good, favors offense right now. Here outside of Philadelphia, we're going to reach about 80 degrees today. So in Yankee Stadium, they'll probably have close to the same. For Domingo Herman, there was some kind of concern, Skee, that he'd been tipping his pitches. And then he came back last start against Minnesota, really strong, 6 1/3, 11 Ks. So I think this is a key start for Herman. We'll have to watch this one. I could see fading Kikuchi for sure. If I was going to fade him, I would fade him first 5. Get in, get out type of deal. I think Herman probably holds an edge over him. As the game rolls on, Toronto's offense still really, really good. So I fear them a little bit, which is why I said earlier I would probably look at over. Didn't play either, but those would be my 2 leans. My leans would be Yankees first 5, probably minus the half run too, Skee. I wouldn't even worry about money line. I would figure Yankees to be ahead after 5, and then over for the full game.
Yeah, I should probably fade them first 5 too. Honestly, I mean, it's very hard to talk me, out of fading Kikuchi any way, shape, or form. I'm thinking first 5 team total, first 5 run line. It's just I don't want to be too exposed here. Um, but I really think this is the right play. So if you had to play team total, like you mentioned, it would be first 5, 2.5 versus full game 4.5, correct?
Yes, and just so that just to bring another point up here, the last time Kikuchi threw against the Yanks, he was trailing 6-3 after 5 innings. So that right there is an offensive outburst, giving up 6 runs. The time before, I'm trying to look, May 10th back in Yankee Stadium, Kikuchi, actually the Yankees didn't get to him until the 6th, and it wound up being 3-3, but it was 3-0 Blue Jays after 5. So there's not a real good pattern here of recent history to playing first 5 with the Yankees or fading Kikuchi first 5. But I do feel it's the way I would go here tonight based off of Herman's last performance. Maybe they got that pitch tipping thing corrected. And of course, we want to be against Kikuchi. Left-handers in Yankee Stadium, it's tough to be a left-hander in that place against that right-handed power that the Yankees bring to the table.
Yeah, I might have to load up here, Rob, because if the Yankees go crazy in this game, and even if I win those 2 bets, I'm gonna be kicking myself for not having all of them because I really think it's a smash spot for them versus Kikuchi. So I already have in my pocket Yankees money line about minus 127, and I bet the over 8.5. If I'm adding anything else, let me just take a look at the first 5 actual price. So the price here for the Yankees first 5, if you want the money line, it's minus 130. If you want the minus half a run, you can get plus 110. And okay, so maybe, I would go the first 5 team total over, and I would go the first 5 um, minus a half a run. So that's what I'm gonna decide. I don't want to take up too much time, but just to let you guys kind of know, and you know what I have in my pocket already. So those are the kind of game. And a couple comments here. Sab says Yankees over 4.5 is plus money. That seems weird to me. Vaughn says the same exact thing as Sab. Seems weird. Yankees team total first 5 and full games plus money. Well, the Yankees are, I think, 9-4 to the under at home. So people already think that they're just strictly an under team there. And for some reason, people seem to have this faith year after year that Kikuchi is going to be better. I disagree. So let's move over. And I don't have banners for these games because I wasn't sure we were going to talk about them. But maybe Rob will be able to talk me into a couple of these, or we can talk them out together. I was looking at Cincinnati Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, 953, 954. Ashcraft and Keller. This game opened up with the Pirates -50. We've seen it drop a little bit, looking at around -145. Total opened 8.5. Still looking at 8.5. Let's take a look at both of these pitchers. So Ashcraft, I see him pitching 19 innings, 1.42 ERA. Keller, 19 innings, 2.84. As far as the bullpens for both, last 2 weeks, I'm seeing 4.26 ERA for the Pirates, 5.56 for the Reds. Both teams weighted runs created plus versus right-handed pitching, 25th for the Reds, ninth for the Pirates. So the Pirates have won, what is this here, 4 in a row versus the Reds team who's lost 3 in a row. So I initially want to roll with the hot team. My only concern is, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Ashcraft is the best pitcher for the Reds, right? And so maybe going against their ace, it could be the game that they lose. Like, it's still early in the baseball season. I know the Pirates have been playing well and have a winning record, but I'm still unsure that they're a good team because in previous years, since I've been following baseball, they have not been good. Um, so it's unnerving, or I don't feel comfortable laying this kind of a price with them. Um, but if I was, I'd probably include the full game just because of how bad Cincinnati's bullpen has been, and also I would like the Pirates bats more than Cincinnati's bats. So lean Pirates here. Anything you like on Cincinnati and Pittsburgh route?
Yeah, I think I could be talked into first five under Ski. It's 4.5. Ashcraft, as you mentioned, has been the best thrower on the Cincinnati in the starting rotation for the Reds so far this season. And Mitch Keller, I think it was even in this chat room where maybe Munaf or somebody pointed out that Keller has increased velocity over the last couple of starts. So his numbers the last 3 games, if you just take a look, he's got 3 quality starts in a row, does Mitch Keller. I don't really fear either offense in a pitcher's ballpark like PNC is. So you got the 2 best pitchers on each staff for the most part, and you've got 2 offenses that we don't really trust to explode over the course of the first 5. I would say 4.5 is a tick too high. I mean, I think you could get out of 5 innings, even in a 2-2 tie at best. So if I was going to play, I think that's the way I would look. I'm with you where bullpen is concerned. Don't trust Cincinnati whatsoever. Where the Pirates are concerned, I had come on here maybe a little over a week ago and talked about how I thought their offense was going to be a little bit hobbled or crippled by the loss of O'Neal Cruz. Hasn't really happened to the extent I thought it would, but it could happen here against Ashcraft. So I would take that first 5 under 4.5. I think is probably the way I would look here.
Well, Munaf agrees with that look for you. Sav said, I can't disagree with this. He said he's going to bet the Pirates -1 every day until they go cold. I feel like baseball is probably the streakiest sport out of all of them. So I can't talk you off for doing that. I think I'm going to leave this game alone. I just don't feel – I'd rather put another unit fading Kikuchi than guessing this one. So the only other game I was looking at here, Rob, I think that actually might be it. There was one more, but I can't find it right this second. Oh, Baltimore and Detroit. So it was Lorenzen and Wells. And the reason I wanted this one is basically because Lorenzen's been looking really bad. I have him as only making it 4 innings, 13.5 ERA. And looking at both bats, Baltimore top 10 weighted runs created plus versus righties. Last 2 weeks, Detroit bottom 10. So I was trying to bet Baltimore here, but the price made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. And I'm not sure if I want to lay the half run minus a little juice. Anything you felt on Baltimore and Detroit?
I didn't either way, Ski. I mean, it's hard for me to get involved with Detroit. I just think it's not that I think it's a bad baseball team. It is a bad baseball team. For Michael Lorenzen, the majority of his bad work was done in his last start. 4 innings pitched, 8 hits, 6 earned runs against the San Francisco Giants. The prior 2 where he threw really well, they were both against Oakland. So you could say to yourself, well, yeah, everybody throws well against Oakland. Well, what's the big deal there? Which would mean that you would lean toward the Orioles and their offense. Um, where Tyler Wells is concerned, he did pitch against these Detroit Tigers at the end of last year and got banged around pretty good. So I have no feeling here. I mean, I would like to play Baltimore because I think they're the better team, but like you said, I don't want to get involved with that big of a price. So I'll just let this one go.
All right, I think we can just go ahead and skip here. Was there any other game in MLB that I don't see the chat really asking for anything? Christopher says no Angels first five minus half a run. Oh, Otani, no wonder. Let's see what that first five minus a half looks like. That wasn't a game that was highly on my radar. I mean, first five minus half a run is still minus 180. That's not something I'm looking to bet personally. Did you have any opinion on that comment or that game, Rob?
The spread is way out of my range. So what I would do if I was going to play is I would just take Otani full game if I had to play, because it chops it all the way down to 40 cents and take my chance that they whack Clark around pretty good here and win by 2 runs, even though you don't get that ninth inning at bat. Didn't play it. One thing I'll say before we switch it over to NBA, Ski, is that I am still looking and probably will get to Zach Gallen here against San Diego tonight and Seth Lugo. Zach Gallen now on a 13 and a third scoreless streak. 7 one start, 6 and a third the other start, where he hasn't given up a run. Out of the box, he was a little shaky. First 2, one of them was against San Diego, but he's corrected things since then. And the other side, Seth Lugo, who is a converted reliever, he's actually been a little bit of both throughout his career, former Mets pitcher. And I like his stuff, but it seems like he's on a downward trend the last couple. So to me, whenever Gallen is on the hill, especially at home in this price range, only 10 cents. And I get that Fernando Tatis came back last night. I don't know what that means for the short term until he gets his legs back under him. Made a nice catch in right field last night, I'll say that much. But I like Zach Gallen. I'm a big fan of Zach Gallen, the way we are whenever Sandy Alcantara pitches and we look, and whenever Zach Gallen pitches, I look. And I think at minus 10 cents at home, it's probably worth getting to him tonight. Might have to be first 5, though, Skee, because that Arizona bullpen, again, last night, gave it up. Good thing we got in and got out, because they got us the lead, or they got us to 5-5 after 5 innings, and then the bullpen wound up losing it for them. So maybe Zach Gallen first 5 over Lugo here tonight.
Yeah, I would agree. Get in and get out. San Diego's bullpen has been better than the Diamondbacks, and that saved us yesterday. You're absolutely right. So I agree. Munaf, for the person who asked about the Angels, he says Angels minus 1.5 full game. Otani should have a longer leash. He had a shorter outing against Boston in his last start because of the weather delay. Otani 16-5, 1.95 ERA at home, 2-0, 0.75 ERA versus the Royals. So Munaf liking the Angels minus 1.5. Can't talk you off. And he says Otani over 18.5 outs issued and over 17.5 or over 7.5 strikeouts. I think I'm ready to get over baseball now. My brain is ready for NBA. Hank says maybe Kansas City first 5 team total under. Michael says, Skee, do you like the total in the Dodgers game? I do not, and I don't want to tell you anything. And Boofer says Arizona first 5. Love it. So good stuff in MLB. Let's now move over to NBA, where things have been treating us very, very nicely lately. The first game that we're going to talk about here, we'll get to 5:55, 5:56, Boston and Atlanta. This game opened Celtics minus 5.5. We now see 5s pretty much across the board here. A couple 5.5 still out there. Total opens 228.5. We still see 228.5s out there, a couple 228s. So make sure you line shop depending on what you like. Injury report for Atlanta. It looks like everybody will be available. For the Celtics, they will be without Gallinari. And I feel a few different ways about this game, Rob. First, I think role players always play better at home. And in general, I don't think Atlanta, I think they're going to shoot a lot better. They can't be a lot worse than how they've been in the first game, especially, and then in, the second game. So I just expect a whole better performance from Atlanta at home. And the problem with that is the reason it's hard to trust them. They're not very good defensively. Like I know down the stretch I cannot trust them to get a stop at any point. It's just we have to outscore Boston in this game. So I really want to look towards Atlanta. The way we've been making money in the NBA lately is, playing on the more desperate teams, on the more motivated teams, if you want to say that, and that will definitely be Atlanta tonight. Maybe you go first quarter here, get in and get out if you like that side. But only way I would even consider betting this game is Atlanta first quarter or full game, as far as the side is concerned. And the total, if I like Atlanta, like I already said, they're a team that cannot defend. They're gonna win by outscoring their opponents. That leads me to over. Boston hasn't had a problem scoring versus them the first two games. They're going to be on the road, but I don't see them having a problem here. So over 228, best number you can get right now. What do you think about that? And what do you think about this game, Rob?
Now that we switched over to NBA, let me just take a quick second. I was on NBA tip-off wager talk show yesterday with Ronald Kabang, and if he's still in the chat here, Ronald, that was a great call on Kevon Looney yesterday. He was all over that. I think it was rebounds and assists. Looney got to 29, 20 boards, 9 assists. We had almost every angle of that where player props for Golden State are concerned covered between the two of us. Skee, you know me, when I believe in something, I'll just run into the brick wall and keep pounding my head. It might hurt my bankroll, but I keep doing. I've played Atlanta team total over twice in a row. It hurt me twice in a row. I can tell everybody right now, I played it 3 times in a row here tonight. Their team total is 111.5. I'll just, kind of reiterate everything you just said. I expect them to be better offensively. They went from 99 points to 106 points in the second game. They average almost 120 a game here at home. And I get it's the playoffs, a little bit of a different animal, but I could see Boston coming in here up 2-0, a little bit lackadaisical. No reason to, not that there's no reason to, but we see it all the time from 2-0 teams. And you talked about the desperate team, the corner team, so to speak. I just don't know how they can shoot any worse. For Atlanta, real quick here, they put up 98 shots in the first game and 101 shots in the second game. If they get 100 shots up again, Skee, and they don't get to 112 and win this bet for me, I'll probably wind up ripping the hair out of my head. But Quinn Snyder has made it known to everybody and his team. I think DeJounte Murray talked about it in his postgame after game one. He said, Coach wants us to play faster. Remember a couple of years ago in the bubble when he had Utah, Quinn Snyder had Utah, and he decided at that point that he was going to turn that team into an up-tempo team. With Rudy Gobert, they hadn't really been up-tempo during his tenure. But all of a sudden, they started producing a ton of points. Odds makers didn't adjust. I feel the same way about this. When a coach wants his team to go, DeJounte Murray said, we're getting used to it. And I think at home here, they probably shoot it better. They've been 38.8% game one, 42.6 game two. A little bit of a sign of life in the second half of game two where they put up 57 points. But I honestly think they're going to get over 111.5 tonight. So I played it. It was my strongest play of the day. I think they get to 112. Whether or not I could trust them, I agree with you. Defensively, they're hard to trust, but they are taking 5 points here. And we saw Brooklyn last night probably should have covered. I mean, inbounds pass down 3 with a few seconds left, and you throw it to the other team for a layup to cover. So I think Atlanta, if you want to look that way, I couldn't talk you up, but I'm on over 111.5 team total Hawks.
No, I can't talk you off that play. Hawks, some way, shape, or form, only way I could look, and over. So you put those together, you get Rob's play, myself. As far as what's in my pocket, I'm focused on the over. Doesn't mean I might not play a little bit of something in Atlanta first quarter or something, but I'm gonna have to think about it a little bit more. So good stuff on Celtics and Hawks. We can get over to the next game. You capper. While I look for the next thing, the next banner. He says, I'm going to make a new layout for Skee where an ass is bending over right in front of Rob. Next game up.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
557, 558, Cleveland and New York. Open, New York minus 1.5. We still see -1.5 pretty much across. Total open 211.5 is what I'm seeing here, and still looking at 211.5. Injury report: Cedi Osman game time decision. Windler game time for New York. I don't see anybody. This game, I don't want to bet the Cavs to win games on the road. They don't have a winning record all year. We saw clearly the home road dichotomy. And the Knicks, they had one of the best records as far as covering on the road. I know they have to win this game. I believe they have a winning record on the road as well, like 16-15 at least. I mean, my bad. I'm talking about at home, but I can't bet the Cavaliers. That's what it boils down to me. It's Knicks or pass. This is the one game I really don't have any action on, so I'll kick it to you, Rob. But Knicks, or they both play defense. I'm leaning under. Do you feel stronger about this game than me?
I like the Knicks. I really think the Knicks, at home, we've known for 2 years, Knicks first half is a play that you can just mechanically knee jerk bet like the same dollar amount on every single night and over the course of a season make a lot of money. So I could see that. I thought they were short priced here. I thought they would come about as a 3-point favorite. They didn't. They're only 1.5 in a game or in a series where they've already stolen home court and Cleveland has to come back and get it from them. I think this way. Jalen Brunson had a bad game last game, 5 of 17 from the field. RJ Barrett, bad game last game, 4 of 13 from the field. Those guys combined 9 of 30. Julius Randle, not a great game, 8 of 20. And the Cleveland backcourt, if I take all three guys, right, if I take Mitchell, Garland, and Karis LeVert, they outscored the Knicks 4 guards 73-41. They're not going to be plus 32 in the backcourt again in Madison Square Garden. As far as I'm concerned, I think, well, you talked about it earlier, how these home teams that got down 0-1 or these teams that have gotten down 0-2 have come back pretty well in desperation mode. I think Cleveland did that in game 2. I don't think it happens here in game 3. I kind of like the Knicks. I'm just trying to figure out which way to play them. Do I want to just stick to what works? The old if it ain't broke, don't fix it, play Knicks first half? Or do I want to go full game and feel like they can win by 2 points? I kind of feel both ways here. So we'll see which way to bet it. But I think if you can bet the Knicks in some fashion here back home, the Friday night crowd will be crazy here in New York. A lot will be made of Donovan Mitchell, who is from the New York area, not necessarily the city, a little outside the city, but I don't know that plays here, Skee. I kind of like the Knicks. I think when push comes to shove, Brunson and Randall will probably get this done for New York.
And would you like Knicks first quarter, first half, anything like that? We know first half has been a moneymaker long term. We have Christopher saying Cavs 19th ranked in first half scoring, saying the Knicks are ranked first. Would you want to early and often kind of deal? Any opinion on that?
In which case I have to become trifecta J, right? First quarter, first half. Knicks are just as good first quarter, guys. Numbers wise, I got 25-15 against the spread first quarter at home. So you got a great first half team. They get out of the shoot quick. I couldn't argue it. I really couldn't argue it. Whatever way you feel most comfortable with on the Knicks, I'd support it. I'll probably get to more than one way here. Whether I get to all three is another question, but I just think the Knicks are going to win this game, and we'll see what happens in game 4. Cleveland may counter punch in game 4, but I think the Knicks in front of the Friday night crowd get it done here.
All right, good stuff. I'm gonna tell you something. I seen this in the chat, and I already was thinking it's gonna be this kind of a game.
Yeah,
I might have to put a little something on the Hawks, man.
He is.
I might have to put a little something on the Hawks. G Martinez says Scott Foster 9-0 to the home underdog from +5 to +9. Munaf is about to come with the home teams with Scott Foster stats. It's coming up. I know it is. But I think I'm gonna be there by the end of the day. He says 40-21 straight up. So far, I mean, I'm going backwards here, but so far, everybody who has won has covered. And obviously, and he says 43 and 18 straight against the spread. I think this is a situation where the Hawks can actually win a game. I mean, I said before the series, um, I kind of was wanting to bet over 5.5 games, but I wasn't super confident, but I know they can get one. I think they can get one. And I said if they get one, it's going to be at the house. Here they are. Trae Young is saying in the interviews he's going to play better at home. They're going to get a little help tonight. That boy Scotty. I think I'm going to end up doing it. So I'm going to be +5, and I think I'm going to get there with first quarter +1. Um, any final thoughts on that or the other game, Rob, before we move to the last game for the day?
Well, there's no way I could argue playing the home team that needs to extend the series with Scott Foster on the floor. I should have mentioned that. I had it down here. So I couldn't argue. I'm just so deeply invested in this Hawks team total tonight. I guess I could be convinced to go multiple ways with this team, but hopefully Foster has the whistle blowing and helps me out on the free throw line with points here, because if Trae Young and Murray and those guys visit the free throw line, it's a pretty good free throw shooting team. They only shot 8 free throws, Skee. I think it was in either game 1 or game 2. They were 4 for 8 from the free throw line, which is ridiculous to me. And just to expand on that comment, the Clippers-Phoenix series, game 2, the Clips had a huge free throw advantage. Game 3, and you know what? I'm going to credit Ronald again here, UCapper. I think he said it on the show yesterday that he expected those whistles to turn around and go Phoenix's way in game 3. And sure enough, they did. Phoenix shot 46 free throws last night. So I could see the Hawks visiting the free throw line quite a bit here, which helps their +5, which helps their team total. And I don't know what the money line is, but what did Buford post? Like 40 and 21 straight up, Scott Foster? You might want to take a little shot with the money line.
Yeah, that was Munoz here. He says, sorry, it's the other way around. 43 and 18 straight up, 40 and 21 against the spread for home underdogs. I think that was for our home teams, rather. My bad. Home teams with Scott Foster. So great stats there. My guy Wham says Celtics can beat Scott. They swept KD last year. They did, but don't tell me Scotty wasn't trying. You remember the picture of how Scotty was looking stressed out? He did all he could to try to, try to extend that series. So I want to be rolling with him. And with there's been a lot of talk about Trae Young. I think we're going to see a little bit of something from him tonight. Sab asking if you bleed in green tonight, Wham. Let us know. Wham is going to be on here. If you want to hear from Wham, I'll be here with him a little bit later, maybe in about 2 hours. So last game for tonight, Rob, we are going to go Nuggets and T-Wolves. This game opened -2 in favor of Denver. We're looking at couple 2.5s out there. Total open 222.5. We see anywhere between 222 and 223. Injury report, I do see Joker on there, game time decision, but I'm pretty sure he's going to play. And then Gobert, he's game time. Noel is game time. Obviously, they're going to be without McDaniels and Reed. But it's just one of those situations, going back home down 0-2. I don't want to be betting against this. Only way I can look in this game is betting the Timberwolves. Now I got to think about if I can trust them. And I don't know too much that I do. The only thing I'll say is in the second half, third quarter, probably to be specific, seemed like they found a little something with the offense. What Chris Finch was saying, he wanted Anthony Edwards to do, pregame. We started seeing them do, like getting downhill a little bit more and making it easier for them to score. So you can do a little bit of that if they're also getting a little bit of home cooking. I would probably look towards Minnesota either early or Minnesota on the full game. I probably feel more strong about Atlanta than Minnesota, not going to lie. But I do like the over in this game, just from how both coaches were talking before the last game was played. Mike Malone said that they don't want to be battling the athleticism and the length for Minnesota here. They want to run, and they're a top 5 running team all year. He said they don't want to get away from that no matter where they play. And for the Minnesota side, he just said how he wants Anthony Edwards to attack in transition and earlier in the offense. So That added up to over for me. The over did hit in the last game. It's right around where it was last game, the same exact number, I think, actually. Um, I like the over between Denver and Minnesota. What do you think about the over, or who do you like as far as the side?
Yeah, I'm listening to you, Ski, because it was the game I was the most indecisive on. I'm all over the map in this game, and probably because the results of the first two games are all over the map. Um, but I don't know that I can trust Minnesota. They basically have to win this game straight up. Denver's a 2-point favorite. So when I look deeper into it, I came up with possibly playing Carl Anthony Towns points, rebounds, assists over 33 and a half. Here's the one guy that hasn't shown up whatsoever as far as the stars go for Minnesota. Anthony Edwards showed up. Carl Anthony Towns has been non-existent in Denver. I'd have to believe that at home tonight, um, he comes through. Now, he's posted double doubles in both games, but they're 10 and 12 and 11 and 10. They can't win with Towns averaging 10 and a half points a game, 10 and 11 in the first two games. So I really feel like he shows up tonight. That number again, I think was 33 and a half, minus 110. So you don't even have to lay juice with it. Anthony Edwards is going to have some help. Like you mentioned, that third quarter, he went crazy and helped that game get over. I could see the game playing out either way, under or over. I don't trust Minnesota's 1 through 8 offensively. You know, there's times when Chris Finch has units out there on the floor, especially in that game too, where you're like, who on this team can even shoot? Now, Torian Prince wound up making a couple of threes to help out when they started their run, but Noel might not play tonight. I see a question mark next to his name, but if he plays, I didn't see much out of Noel. You could attribute that to injury. All these secondary players, and you did say earlier, and you're correct, that these guys generally play better at home. But I watched them shoot the other night, and they were crooked shooters almost the whole game. So I don't know. I think Towns might be the way I go here. I expect him to play really, really well if Minnesota has a chance to win. And I just don't want to be against the Nuggets at this point in time because as overlooked as they are in the West, man, when you watch that 1 through 9, they just keep coming at you. Somebody said it the other night. They come at you in waves, and they do just continually come at you, come at you, come at you. I think Murray had 40 the other night. I heard him make a comment where he said that 50 is coming. So I don't want to be against Denver. I think I'd rather be on Carl Anthony Towns, and that would be my way of kind of leaning towards the home team that's down 0-2 is by playing Towns props up and over PRA 33 and a half.
I hear you on that. And if you like Minnesota, you probably like Cat as well. I would say starting to think about it more and more. And there was a comment here by Tori. Minnesota wins. Denver sucks on the road. Yeah, I think Denver doesn't even have a winning record on the road, do they? Or am I tripping? Let me pull it up here.
And they
I
had
don't think
that
they do.
long losing streak towards the end of the year, right? Remember when they were in first so comfortably and they just kept losing to teams like the Wizards and, you know, on the road, they just weren't winning at all late in the year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're 19 and 22 straight up and against the spread on the road so far this season. I don't want them in my pocket tonight versus a team who's desperate, versus a team who showed they can compete with them on their home floor. I mean, that game was closer than the final score. I feel like Minnesota took the lead probably heading into the fourth quarter or sometime late in that third quarter, and I just think they can be competitive. So more and more I think about it, I'm probably gonna have to be involved here with Minnesota. That's the card. Um, we went through some MLB. We went through every NBA game for today. Now it's that time of the show where I ask you, Mr. Vino, if there's anything that you would like to promote, and maybe, out of everything we talked about, maybe a game you like more than the rest.
Yeah, before I hop into promotion here, Ski and Best Bet, let me say what you always say because I sit here and talk and I look on the screen and I constantly see you laughing. So to the chat room, Ski says it every day. I haven't said it at all recently, but you guys definitely are the best. And thanks for the help with all the information that you bring to the table here. Those numbers on Scott Foster, I would not have known unless Munaf posted those. And there's so many other guys that post stuff that I really wouldn't have known unless you guys are posting it. So shout out to all you guys that watch us here each and every day. As far as promotion is concerned, Skee, it's pretty simple. Wagertalk.com. For those of you who haven't yet, you hear me be repetitive on this, but go ahead and drop your email address over at wagertalk.com. You'll instantly get free access to all the show content that they provide over there each and every day. Skee and I are part of it, especially where NBA is concerned, but you can get MLB. I was actually on a show this week, Wager Talk Extra, one of their newer shows where I discussed XFL and USFL football, which have been really good to me so far this season. If you're into the NHL playoffs, you can get an NHL show every day from their experts over there. So once again, wagertalk.com. If you're interested in selection packages, mine are always up and available at my homepage over there at wagertalk.com. Best bets for tonight, Skee. I'm going to run into the brick wall again, and hopefully this time I break through. But I like the Hawks over 111.5 team total here tonight. I just expect them to score better. They're certainly getting the opportunities. As I mentioned earlier, 98 field goal attempts, 101 field goal attempts. It's because Quinn Snyder wants them to get up the floor and score. They just need a couple extra shots to fall here this evening or get to the free throw line a little bit more than what they've been doing. Because it's not like that last game they were that far off of 111.5. They got to 106. Scott Foster with the whistle. Maybe it helps us. But I like the Hawks. I'm going to leave that as a best bet. Hawks team total over 111.5.
Good stuff there. And just because that's the game that you use, and I saw this question and looked it up, I'm gonna put it in here really quick. Christopher asked, "Yo, Skee, do you have any metrics on how Atlanta performs Friday nights at home?" I pulled it up just so you can see. Share my screen. Should be this here. So Atlanta at home on Friday night, 7-2 straight up and against the spread so far this season. And here they are playing on Friday again. So if you care about that, that is for you.
Yeah. Look at those point totals, Skee. 117, 130, 131.
I clicked off too fast, but you saw it. That favors your bet as well right there.
I was looking at that, yeah. Good stuff.
So best bet for me, I'm just going to go with what I already placed. Again, I'll be on here on the channel again later with our guys Wham, Dutch, and Ian, and I'll probably share some more bets there. But what I have and what I like so far, I'm going to roll with Denver and Minnesota over the 222 is the best number you can get. Just for the show, that's what I'll take because it's the best number. But personally, I bet 222.5. So you can get a better number than I did. And Rob, I appreciate you always taking the time to come and chat with us and, share all the good information with us. You're going to be gone next week, right?
I am. I'm going to be at the NFL draft. Going to leave Tuesday. I'll be there through Sunday. So it'll be a good time seeing who these teams end up picking. Real quick, when we get back, Skee, we're going to add a segment to this show because Boofer cracks me up guessing dark gray today, but we may have to have A, B, C, and D. What color shirt will be on each and every day when I get back? It won't be next week, but it'll be the following week.
All right, maybe we'll do some kind of giveaway or something like that. If whoever guesses it right, we'll do something fun just to spice it up. But we won't have Mr. Rob Veno tonight. Maybe you guys in the chat can let us know if you want to see anybody else with me on here. We can try it out on the channel. And like Rob said earlier, you guys are the best. I'm over here cracking up all show long because we have fun. Whether you guys are making fun of me, making fun of Rob, making fun of each other, or the games that we're talking about, I enjoy it. And you guys bring a lot of good information too, so I appreciate it. If you guys enjoy the show, hit the like button for us. It does help us out quite a bit. If you want to know whenever we go live, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to take advantage of the perks of becoming a member, you can do that as well. So best of luck on all your action, and we will catch you again later.